All right, let's dive right in. In today's world, we're basically swimming in data, right? It's everywhere. But all that information can feel like this huge, uncharted territory. So, what if you had a navigation system for it, a GPS that could guide you through it all? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today.
Think about it for a second. Pick any piece of data in your company, a customer purchase, a click on your website, anything. Do you know where it came from? You know, its origin story? What happened to it on its journey to you? Who's using it right now? See, most of the time we only see the final destination, but every single piece of data has this hidden story. The real question is, can you actually trace it back?
Well, there's a name for this, and it's called data lineage. It's basically a complete record of your data's entire life story. And the absolute best way to think about it, and this is the analogy we're going to stick with, is as a GPS for your data. It tells you where you are, it shows you where you've been, and it helps you figure out where you're going.
So let's unfold this map. What exactly is this data GPS showing us? What are we looking at here?
Just like the GPS in your car can give you those super detailed turn-by-turn directions, data lineage does the same thing. It gives you that point-to-point tracking. But, and this is key, it also lets you zoom out and see the entire highway system, the whole journey your data takes across different systems, from the second it's born to the moment it ends up in some final report. It's both the magnifying glass and the satellite view.
So, if data lineage is our map, what are the landmarks? What are the street signs we should be looking for? Let's break down the key checkpoints that this system actually keeps track of.
Okay, this is where that GPS analogy really starts to click. First up, you've got origins. That's your "you are here" pin on the map. It's literally where the data was born. Then you have characteristics, which are kind of like those little info pop-ups for landmarks. They give you all the crucial business and technical details. Relationships, those are all the connected roads, showing how one piece of data is linked to another. And finally, movements. That's your turn-by-turn route, tracking the exact path that data takes as it zips through all your systems.
And the journey continues. Processes are like seeing detours or construction zones on the map. These are things like quality checks or other procedures the data has to go through. Transformations are the road changes, where the data itself gets altered. Maybe its format changes or a value is updated. And finally, users. Those are your fellow travelers, the people in the apps that are actually using the data at its destination. Put all 7 of these checkpoints together, and you've got a complete living map of your entire data world.
Okay, so we get what it is, but why? Why go through all the trouble of mapping everything out? Why does data lineage matter so much? Honestly, it comes down to one word: confidence.
And this right here shows you exactly what's at stake. Look, without a map, you're flying blind, and it is a world of pain. Imagine a critical report is wrong. Without data lineage, you're on this frantic, chaotic scavenger hunt trying to find the mistake. With the map, you can trace that error right back to its source in minutes, not days. It's the difference between chaos and control. You get trustworthy data, a perfect audit trail for compliance, and you can pinpoint problems instantly.
At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about trust. Data lineage is the foundation of data trust. When everyone, from the engineer building the pipeline to the CEO looking at the final numbers, can see and understand the data's journey, they can actually trust it to make huge business decisions. It's that simple, and honestly, it's that powerful.
Now let's shift gears and connect this to probably the biggest topic in tech today: artificial intelligence. If you think of data as the fuel for AI, then data lineage is the superhighway that delivers that fuel safely and reliably.
AI isn't magic, right? It needs a really good map to learn from, and that's what Lineage gives it. For something like neural networks, it maps out all the data movements, which helps the AI find meaningful patterns. For natural language processing, it relies on those human language descriptions for crucial context. Machine learning models use the whole map, relationships, processes, you name it, to learn on their own. And deep learning can even analyze who is using the data to understand really complex behaviors.
So this all sounds pretty essential, but how do you do it? How do organizations actually create these data maps? How do you program the GPS?
Well, you've basically got 2 options. You can do it manually, which is kind of like trying to draw a map of a major city by hand. It might work for a tiny village, but it's just not going to scale. That's why for any business that's growing, automatic lineage is really the only way to go. It uses specialized tools that scan everything for you and draw the map automatically, and, this is huge, it keeps it constantly updated.
So how do these tools work their magic? Well, you can think of them as digital map makers. They go in and scan everything behind the scenes, the code, the system logs, all the metadata, to understand the entire data landscape. Then, they pull all that info together from all your different systems and draw you a visual map of how everything flows. You'll often see these as complex diagrams that show every single connection. Popular tools you might have heard of, like dbt or Apache Spark, do this, and they can even give you insights on how to make your data flow more efficient.
And let's let this sink in for a moment, because it really says it all. You wouldn't try to navigate a new city without a GPS, right? In the same way, it is incredibly difficult to unlock the true power of AI without a deep, fundamental understanding of your data's journey. Data lineage isn't just some nice-to-have technical tool. It's a strategic necessity.
And so, that's the question I want to leave you with. Think about your own organization, your own work. When it comes to making decisions based on data, are you navigating with a clear, trustworthy map? Or are you kind of just flying blind and hoping you end up in the right place? Thanks for joining me.